Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and this video is intended as a brief follow-up to my recent question video of would you choose books, movies and TV, or video games for the rest of your life in exile? And I had actually put a little bit of a spin on the final question, the final option you could choose, that I just found to be absolutely compelling, and I was just flabbergasted and overjoyed to find that several other people found it just as fascinating a quandary, and I got three just brilliant video responses from TJ Pyramid, aka Joe, Falagar517, aka Sammy, and Aaron Pynn, all of which have given me added, momentum to think about as far as how you would approach answering that question. Now, with Falagar and TJ Pyramid, they both chose video games for solid reasoning, I think, and Aaron Pynn's, very passionate sort of weighing in on why he would have chosen books and novels and published works. I mean, we're talking, as per the original question sort of criteria, it would be, the infinite labyrinth of the biggest library ever. Every printed work in every possible language, all that kind of stuff in history. Anything that wasn't in your native language would be translated, that kind of stuff. But picture books, comic books, all that, everything, just everything at your fingertips. Same was for the movies and TV. If you chose that option, it would be strictly those things, but it would be any medium, anything in the history of the world, filmography going all the way back to the very first silent pictures to, the latest movie of current from when you would be going into exile. The third option would have been video games. Similarly to the previous two, it would be just an infinite library of games of all makes, models, consoles, PC, arcade games, everything, just everything. And the fourth option was a mixture of all three of those, but it would be in a limited quantity because you would be having multiple selections and you'd have to lose all of your favorite choices within those selections. And I actually got a comment on that video from Tim Goebel, which made a good point, and it was something that occurred to me only after I uploaded the video myself, was that I forgot to include music in the mix there. And so I would, if I had to reformat the question, I would probably do it with, 5 options, the fourth being instead of the multiple choices. It would be music as far as every, musical medium, going all the way back to the first recorded works, going all the way back to the first, classical music, beating on drums for cavemen, whatever it was, whatever began the passion humanity has with music, because it is a passion for me myself as well. I don't think I could exist for the rest of my life without some kind of music. And you could argue that, well, video games have soundtracks and music that, while you're playing you'll hear, or movies and TV shows as well, and it's not really the same to me, hearing it with dialogue spoken over it and all that kind of stuff. So music should have definitely been on that list. And the fifth option would be, in this reconfigured question, a mixture of all 4 of those things, the books, movies, and TV shows, and video games, as well as music, in all platforms. CDs, cassette tapes, 8-tracks, vinyl. So yeah, I think it's very intriguing, though, that the primary, answers that I got was books from, as I say, Aaron Pynn, as well as Tim Goebel, because music was not included. He chose books. Swally chose books, commented on the video. Vincent Nicosia, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, chose books. I got only one movies and TV choice from Super Welsh 93, as well as over on Facebook I actually had 2 commenters. One was Philip, one was Mike, and I love all of the answers that I got for this. I love that, it really made people think, because, reading is a different experience from watching movies and TV shows. Watching movies and TV shows is a different experience from playing video games where there's interactivity, and that was a large reason for the choice of Falagar and TJ Pyramid. The interactivity, giving you something to play off of, not, sort of solidifying the loneliness you would be experiencing for the rest of your life in that framework. And the books and published works, as championed by Aaron Pynn and others, this would be something that you would have interactivity to a point with certain kind of written works like Choose Your Own Adventure. You could change the story and everything. You would have, the limits of just your imagination. That would be the only limits you would have within those confines. And keep in mind, we're not just talking about having to sit down and read books. This would be comic books, there would be pictures, there would be art, there would be photography books, there would be all kinds of different published works. If it was published in a physical tome of any sort, it would count as far as the book's choice goes. And I definitely think in my wanting to kind of approach that question with making a decision for myself, I still heavily lean toward the fourth, or in the reconfigured question, fifth choice of having a mixture, because even though I would be without those things that, have inspired me up to this point in my life, and all my favorites and everything like that, even though I'd have to lose those, there would still be a chance to, recollect on those and reflect on those. I could even take the time to write up, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, just as one example. Maybe I could rewrite that story and then read it back to myself later, what I remembered of it, how I remembered it, and it would still be something I could have, just not there as the concrete film that it was and everything. But the point is, you would evolve along with your experience. You would find new things that you love. But I think the most persuasive argument was for books by Aaron Pynn. I absolutely was moved by his passion in the idea that, this is something that you are in control of. This is something where you are only limited, as I say, by your own psyche, by your own imagination. And so for the rest of your life, this is something that inspired him to get into movies and video games and all those things that he also has a passion for. And this is something I share with him. This is, it was reading very early on in elementary school and the early stages of middle school and everything. I was reading a lot. A lot. And it was, if not for those experiences of reading those books, I wouldn't have gotten an idea of what storytelling was. I wouldn't have been interested in watching TV shows and movies, Indiana Jones. These were just phenomenal stories, and they were in the vein, cut from the same cloth as the novels and tomes that came before it. And I saw somebody also mention the fact that, this would include in the novels and books selection screenplays. So you could read the original base of all these films and everything like that. I just find it a very compelling question, and I've gotten some great compelling answers. So I wanted to take the time to thank everybody who participated with video responses, with comment responses, because it gave me a lot to think about. I really feel like it gave you guys a lot to think about as well. And, it was just a great experience, hearkening back to the old school local community feeling of YouTube, us all getting involved and answering a question and having a fun time thinking it through and everything like that. So I can't give high enough props to everybody who answered. I'll be linking everyone who has a channel below. I highly recommend you go check them out. And otherwise, that'll be pretty much it for me on this. I hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.